Whiskey 7 India Tango Lima testing.
WW7UHK, standing by in Everett, Washington.
Evening, Jessica. This is WU7N sitting by for net.
Something in common. How you doing tonight, Jim?
I'm doing just fine. How are you doing? Are you sort of off your tummy, so to speak, or are you still doing that?
Face down a little bit, but I'm getting up a little more than normal. So I'm getting close to feeling like this bubble of mine is going away, which is really, really nice.
Well, that's just wonderful news. I'm glad to hear that. Just for anyone else listening, the picture on 1.2 gigahertz tonight doesn't seem to be very good. I'm not sure why. Other changes afoot. WU7N standing by.
Break in. Need you to switch over to, or somebody to switch over to the streaming input, because what I'm seeing on YouTube is just a black screen right now. I have no idea what's going out over 1.2.
All I'm seeing is a black screen too, and I tried to switch for like the last 10 minutes. Just switched over to a picture of the shack, very, very blurry, like 1 or 1.5 on the a picture of the shack. Can you see that now?
Clear enough on YouTube. I'm going to stand by for net. I'll get out of the way and let you handle it if you can. Wade's also trying. K9PQ is standing by.
Good evening. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. Western Washington Amateur Television Society is a group of amateur radio enthusiasts that take to the airways with fast scan television. We have a repeater located up on Cougar Mountain. We transmit on 70 centimeters. It's a crossband repeater. It spits out images at 1.2 gigahertz. To find out more about the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, please Google WW7ATS. That's Google WW7ATS. That will take you to our homepage. Find some more information about our club, the frequencies we operate on, and also you'll find a link to YouTube on our homepage where we stream our nets held on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Also, we'd like to thank the SeaTac Repeater Association for letting us use WW7STR's repeater 147.08 with a specific tone of 103.5 for the Cougar Mountain repeater. So with that, I'll pause in case anybody has emergency traffic or needs to make a contact on the 08 machine before our net gets fully underway. Again, this is Dave, KD7CYM. Hearing none, checked in via video link to the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net It's Ron, KD7QKU, Jessica, KF7UHK, Bob, K9PQ, Richard, K7ITX, Wade, W7ITL, Jim, N7QO, WU7N James, and myself, Dave, KD7CYM. Is there anybody else wishing to check into the net this evening? Hearing none, we'll...
7KC, land Port Angeles.
N7KC.
So I don't know what you said, Dave. Did you tell me to start?
Yes, Ron, go ahead.
ID or covers you're up. I didn't tell what you said. Well, good evening, everyone. KD7QKU here in Tacoma. So before the net, Wade was asking me how everything was going. I saw Wade. Both of us went over to the Tacoma Radio Club meeting today at their clubhouse for a few minutes, and I came home. Well, yesterday I had a power supply quit. The switch, I think, went out of my power supply. So I have a little 2-meter radio in the kitchen, and I have headphones on it. And in the morning I listen to Lyman Hill Repeater, and I drink coffee, and that way I don't disturb Joanne. If I'm in here and have it on, she can hear it in the bedroom. So it's just better if I do it out there. So anyway, I had another power supply, so I went and got that, swapped that all out. And then I came home this afternoon and I had the TV on out on the patio and I was watching football. And I came in the house, and when I went back outside, the TV set was black. And so I tried everything and the TV set wouldn't work. So Jessica, if you're listening, that's the TV set that you gave us about, I don't know, at least 5 years ago probably. It was is it a Sylvania? I think it is. So it just gave up the ghost, I guess. So I went on Amazon and I ordered a new one for $79.95 plus tax, and it'll be here in a week or so. So that was all well and good. And then I just taken a shower, and I went to plug my hair dryer in the outlet in the bathroom, and it wouldn't run. And I pushed the, it's one of those default breakers, and I pushed it, and it didn't start. So then I went in the bedroom in our bathroom, and it was the same way. They're hooked together on the same circuit. It wouldn't work either. The night lights won't work. So I had to use an outlet in the wall to dry my hair and stuff. And I pushed the buttons and nothing happened. So I need to move a car, move a toolbox so I can get at the breaker box and see if the breaker got tripped somehow. I asked Joanne. She taken a shower this morning, said it worked just fine. So I don't know what could have happened beyond me. So anyway, that's just the way it's been going over here at the Baker House. So, I do have a little video to show later on. So I haven't used the Grand Stream for so long, I'll probably have to fiddle around to make it work. So anyway, I guess for now, back to net, KD7QKU.
QKU. Let's go to Jessica, KF7UHK in Everett.
This is Jessica, KF7UHK. Well, you are everything power-wise tonight, Ron. It sounds like Ghost in the Machine kind of thing. I've had GFI wall plugins go bad on me, where I've actually had to replace the GFI, component in the wall, and that's fixed items, and that's happened twice now to me. So if you don't find anything else, look at the actual GFI plug-in that has those little buttons on it, the test button and the reset button. They've been known to go bad, so I find that fascinating. But not that, because they're still kind of a new thing on the market, I think, comparatively to some things. And I kind of been cleaning house a little bit as I go along, just because, you collect things. Some of us collect things. Some of us collect things more than others. And
I used to run a bulletin board, a BBS, back in the day, back before we had internet all the time on. It was calling through your phone lines with a modem, and I ran something called Joe's Meat Market, MEET, Joe's Meat Market, and I was down in Kent, and I had quite a small following of people who'd call into my computer because I had a lot of free things you could get into and play with. But the computer, and it was just a DOS computer, it didn't have any Windows on it, had a giant hard drive of 600 megabytes. And we look back now and go, my goodness, some of my pictures, that I take wouldn't fit on that hard drive at 600 megabytes. So it just kind of made probably a few pictures, but not many. Certainly none of my music shows would ever fit on that 600 megabyte hard drive, but that was considered big at the time, and things have really changed. My first external hard drive, which is sitting in front of me here, is an old Buffalo, and it's a half a terabyte, and I find it slow and clunky. It holds half a terabyte, but my good externals, I think I got one that's a 5 terabyte external hard drive, which I use for my pictures and videos and stuff like that. That's all I got from here. This is Jessica, KF7 News, K.
HK, let's go to Port Angeles to Lee N7KC.
Well, okay. Here is Lee N7KC in Port Angeles. Thanks. I get the thumbs up, so I'm making the trip. Well, good to see you all tonight, including Jim, by golly, out in Covington. Yeah, good to see you for a change, Jim. Well, a beautiful day here. I was working in the garage here just a couple of days ago, and all of a sudden, a circuit went out. Now, I was plugged into that circuit, but I wasn't doing anything untoward, and it turns out that the GFI, which services that, had tripped. I have no explanation for it, and it didn't reset immediately, and the breaker didn't appear to be tripped. So I ended up having to take the cover off of the drop box and check out the breakers, or make sure I had incoming power and so forth. And I did. I put that back together, and then I pushed the reset button on the on GFI, and by golly, it reset. Fine, it's working okay now. This is the salmon run. It started this morning at 9 o'clock. This is both phone and CW, a 5-band thing, I think. Anyway, so I've been working stations all day. I was invited to go out to WY7W's place, but I just haven't been feeling like sitting for long periods doing a high pressure contest for CW. See something. It's just west of Stripe and Peak out here. He's one of our club members. Look up on QRZ WY7W. Yeah, stand by. This is something. Anyway, he supplied all the equipment at field day this year for the club, and it worked out really, really well. Let's see, what else? Can't think of anything else at the moment. So, back to you, Dave. This is N7KC Lee in Port Angeles.
KC, let's go to Bob, K9PQ.
Hey, well, good evening, everybody. Let's see, well, I'm continuing on with the FT8 news. This will be new to Lee, I think. I think he's been out when I've been here, and I've been out when he's been here. But Chris, Casey at MUS, and I have each put up very simple little loop antennas that are more for stealthiness than for effectiveness. But we've each got auto tuners that can tune through 10 through like 80 on mine, and I'm not sure with his. But I've gotten out first. I got out very well with Whisper, and just recently I've got to Japan with FT8. So with this really simple, almost silly looking antenna, it's literally strung along the railing of my deck, but it gets the job done. And as Lee knows very well, with Whisper and FT8, you don't need it can be well down in the mud, in the noise, and still get through. So that's been fun. I have also been listening on Salmon Run. I've heard only one good sideband signal all day, and it was from a California station calling for Washington stations. And that was like right away. That was the very first thing I did. It happened to be on the band I was on when I turned on the radio. Found it right away, and I thought, well, I'll find something local. Never found anything again after that. So hasn't been, that's the limitation of my antenna. Okay, for now, I'll send it back to net. K9PQ.
K9PQ, get an ID here again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. Well, let's go to Richard, K7ITX in Kent.
Oh, all right. Well, yeah, Bob, that's the same kind of luck I have. Whenever I tune into something or get something started, it seems like, oh, perfect. But wait a minute. I mean, I just started. I'm not quite ready. Maybe I'm sure this will come up again. Well, just like you experience, it never does. You need to kind of, take your chickens while they're available, I guess. That's how that goes. So anyway, Ron, it's kind of bad luck. You got a whole string of it. I've just been doing the major projects in the last couple days. The news media is, they're always trying to, and they do a really good job at finding content. Well, lots of times their content will stir up the YL quite a bit, and so the latest thing that got her stirred up was these series of break-ins in South Seattle and even a couple in the Kent area where they break into your house while you're there, or in the middle of the night, or in the middle of the morning, that kind of thing. Well, yeah, no, it's terrible. It's very disturbing. The issue, though, that I have is that I have to explain to Debbie is that these are targeted, very targeted. And we're not even close to the kind of people they're targeting, or even in the locations where we're not on main drag, or everything doesn't line up. I always try to take advantage of these situations when they do pop up with the YL, of course. She's never, ever worried about any of these things in our 30, 40 years. She thinks I'm crazy to do this or that, we got an alarm system. She wasn't too excited about that, and, just junk like that. But now that, I had her, or the media had her here, I thought, okay, well, hon, I've got some ideas. So I followed through with, let's see, I got a little list here. Oh, I put in a backyard security camera, number one. How about, setting up a portable barricade for the front door when we go to bed? Okay. What was the next one? Well, how about a doorbell camera? I put that in, I installed that. But the biggie, two sliding glass door sets, one upstairs and one downstairs, and it's a pair, a slider and a fixed, so it's 4 panels, but it's tempered glass, tempered insulated glass. Anybody that knows anything about this type of glass, you can walk through it in a matter of just 10 seconds, literally. It's a lot of people don't know that, but a lot of the bad guys do. Well, and people in my business like me know it as well, so I've lived with this, knowing this for 27 years, and I just was never concerned about it, because what is it? There's about 1.5 million people in the area, and all of a sudden, there's been, a dozen break-ins. I mean, I think still the odds are in my favor. I speak right now. I am the proud owner of 4 pieces of security film, 8mm thickness, clear, you can't tell it's there, but you'll never get through these doors in seconds like I previously described. It's going to be more like several minutes, if at all. K7ITX, back to net control.
K7ITX. Well, let's go to Wade, W7ITL in Tacoma.
W7ITL, I'm just going to try to switch in my RF. Just give me a second. Well, my HT is not reaching the switcher, so I guess... Oh, here we go. Somebody got me going. All right. Well, it's looking a little... let's see if I can turn the gain up a little. Hey, there we go. We got some color. This is W7ITL, and let's see. I went to the Radio Club of Tacoma today, and hung out there for about 3-4 hours. That was the longest I think I've hung out in a long time. They're doing a salmon run up there, so they're going to be operating out of that place until midnight tonight, and then tomorrow they're going to come in at 9. So I might go out after this and go check out, see if they got anything going on. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Kate. That's it. Yeah. Richard, I was gonna say, you got all the stuff that I would get too. So, yeah, all the security stuff. I used to worry about that when I lived on Hilltop here in Tacoma, but since I moved, I haven't really worried about security too much. I had a couple bums pick through my dumpster when I was doing some home repair, but that's about all I've had problems with. Never any home break-ins. I did when I lived in Hilltop. I had a home break-in like the second week I lived there, and that was pretty disturbing. So, yeah, it just depends on where you live, and I guess just circumstances. Sometimes you just can't plan. Just got to have everything, be secure. So I do have a security system here too, but it's never gone off. So, all right, well. Let's see, and I saw Ron at the clubhouse too, and I think he's been there every weekend since I brought him out there, so it was nice seeing him again. And I gave away some gear. I gave away a Kenwood handy talkie and a 20 amp power supply, and let's see, a Kenwood mobile unit, an old one from like the 80s, 90s, and then some other gear, just random stuff that I found in the back of my my ham shack here. And let's see what else. I went to the dump today. Let's see, I'm going to break for a second. And got rid of some metal. I have these 2 4-foot LED lights that were in my kitchen, but they gave out. The LEDs burned out in them, and I tried repairing it. I thought it was the transformer that blew out the caps, but I replaced the caps, and it still was flashing like a strobe light. So that when I recycled it, I pulled all the LEDs off the metal, I found that the back of the LED strip was just burnt. It looked like it singed. It just probably overheated, and probably the traces were all probably ruined. So, yeah. I would try to give them away to the Goodwill, but they won't take lights. But they did take the transformers after I pulled them out of the lights. So I was able to recycle the metal and the transformers, but I had to throw away the LEDs. So that's that for today. All right, I'll go back to net.
W7ITL, and this for ID is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. On the 08 machine, I'm Dave, KD7CYM. Well, let's go to Jim, N7QO in Covington.
QO. Dave, it sounded like someone was maybe trying to check in when the repeater IDer was going. Sounds like they doubled with the IDer and the IDer 1. Is there anyone else out there wanting to check in? I guess not. Well, I'll take it. Well, thank you, Dave. Good evening, everyone. Good to see you all. Wow, Ron, GFI, what a pain. Yeah, I've never seen anywhere where they were two of them affected on the same circuit, but it's just a roll of the dice, and guess what? You got snake eyes. Sorry, guy. Jessica, sounds like you're improving. That's good news. Glad you're, at least you're feeling a little better. I know the last time you said you were walking a little bit, so that's good, and it sounds like you're improving a little bit even more. So that's great news. Now we just got to hope that your vision is really good. Lee, thanks for mentioning the salmon run. I'm not going to make it this year. That's one of the two annual contests in which I attempt to participate, but I've got too much going on now. Tomorrow's already spoken for, and my wife came up with something else for me to do tomorrow, which I'm not sure I'm going to be able to oblige her on that. And today I've been busy all day, mostly doing paperwork stuff, which needs to be squared away very quickly. Bob, glad you're having fun with the FT8 and the Whisper. I appreciate hearing updates on that. I have had interest in that myself. I just never got around to it. Amazing how busy life is. Once you retire, you never know how you found time to work. But I don't know. Dick, well, yeah, Debbie, I'll tell you what, I cannot disagree with her. Crime is definitely getting worse, and I think it's getting worse everywhere. It sounds like you're right on top of things there. Fortunately, things aren't too bad around us as of yet. So, anyway, hang in there. Wade, you look good on the 1.2. Haven't seen you with a signal that good on RF for a little while. And you sound better than usual as well. Your audio is really outstanding there. And let's see, what else can I say? I don't know, really nice day today. A shame that I couldn't spend any time outside. Tomorrow is looking kind of the same for me, but maybe next week sometime. Oh, it's supposed to get more cold next week. Well, c'est la vie. Back to you, Dave, N7QO.
QO, let's go to Bellevue to James, WU7N.
This is James, WU7N in Northeast Bellevue. Well, Ron, it sounds like you have some sort of contagious electronic disease, but when it comes to GFCIs, I know the feeling well. My last GFCI experience was I had an indoor switch with an outdoor light, and it wasn't working, but I kept testing voltage, and it was still there. So somehow they managed to bounce the GFCI off a GFCI on an outdoor 110-volt socket up to the light, but when the GFCI trips, you still have 110 volts going to that light, but you no longer have any ground or neutral. So since there's probably that whole deck's probably going to get torn out here fairly soon, I'm saving that to try and figure out how they screwed that up. But that is, I think, just incredibly evil that the GFCI trips, but then you still have a hot 110 going to the light. But you had no other way to complete the circuit going to the light. Next time I'm down to Tacoma, I'll paint one of those little scratchy white things on the place in your garage floor in front of the breaker box that says, "Keep this area clear." Remember those? They were around every place you've ever worked. And remember, if you so much as set a toolbox down there, the safety person would come out hysterically screaming at you. Of course, no one's ever had to actually open the circuit breaker box for the last 10 years, but you had to keep that area clear. Now you know why, don't you? Yeah. Okay. I would say your antenna is amazing. It's right in there with the people who load up the gutters on their houses and such. I think that's incredible that you're getting all over the place. It's also just a tribute to the power of mathematics, isn't it? That they can somehow pull noise signals out of the noise that we can't even hear with our ears. I think that truly is absolutely amazing. Oh, and Richard, I mean, if you want your home to be broken in by psychos with guns, you have to be in the drug business. I think that's where most of these home break-ins. I love how the media just feeds on these things. I had a friend of mine that was freaking out because there was some place up in Canada a few years ago that had a big home break-in thing, and they dragged the guy off in handcuffs. And how evil this was because he had tried to defend himself or something. So I actually called the PIO up there and said, "What's the real story here?" Yeah, he was a drug dealer. And so, the RCMP was kind of ignoring him. I think he sold marijuana and some other things. But okay, now that you've got people coming to your house with guns, we're not ignoring you anymore because the Canadians, they're very polite. I'm sure they said, are those cuffs too tight as they dragged him off? But they just don't tolerate it like we do down here. Richard, I'll have to talk to you more about the 8mm stuff. Was that something you stuck on the outside of the glass that you already have, or did that require the entire door to be replaced? Or does that go on the outside, or does it go on the inside? I mean, inquiring minds want to know. Maybe you can fill us in there. And let's say Wade, okay, whenever I open a piece of equipment and it's got all sorts of blacky ickiness inside, I go, well, the good news is it didn't burn my house down. That's a plus. I always consider that a big plus. But yeah, I've opened up a couple pieces of equipment and I go, yeah, the little fuse died saving my home. Good job, fuse. Yeah, I've had a whole string of that, including a brand new microwave that lasted an astounding 8 minutes before it burned, probably releasing some kind of deadly nerve gas into my kitchen. It was 8 minutes old and it died, so it went back right away. It's still hanging in there, but it's amazing. It was 3 times more expensive than the one that died in 8 minutes. So maybe there's like an exponential lifespan thing the more you pay for it. I don't know. This is James, WW7ATS in Northeast Bellevue. Let's turn back to our net control, KD7ZYM.
7N, thanks with that. This is Dave, KD7ZYM, and I'll start out with an ID. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. Again, I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. Well, let's see, Ron, television set gone dead, and some big breaker problems. I think I'd try to get some power to that TV set with an extension cord from a known outlet that has power on it. It might be that circuit was dead that the TV is plugged into for some reason. Anyway, it's kind of unusual for a set to give up the ghost that easily. And Jessica, oh my, wishing you well with recovery with your eye issue. I hope you get better with that. And Lee, GFI problems, reset, and off to salmon run. So that sounds good. And Bob, FT8 and digital and whisper, oh my, you're getting up with what's happening with the digital world. So that's pretty good. And Richard, oh my gosh, with projects of getting all the security devices around, you might secure your YL. That most of these break-ins have been for Asian descent people. So I think you're probably pretty safe with where you're at, unless you have your own 7-Eleven store somewhere or run a teriyaki stand somewhere. But anyway, wishing you well with that, with all of your security, and to get that door with the extra sheet of protection so it won't shatter. Oh my, and Wade, salmon run, oh, congratulations for getting into that. And burning out the diodes in a light, oh, like James said, at least the house didn't burn down. It just smoked on the inside of the tube. And Jim, oh my gosh, not doing the salmon run, but he's got a bunch of honey-do projects to do tomorrow, so that'll keep him busy. And James, we haven't heard about your animal trap. See what's happening there. If you got the critter or not. And for me, oh my, I've still been playing around with an iPad, and I'm finding out it's a fantastic tool to surf the web and get your email on. I haven't explored a lot of things. Not having a keyboard for it, I prefer the standard laptop to do my business on, where I have to do typing and run programs that way. But I haven't explored all of the things that you can get and download on an iPad for devices that you can run. Yeah, let's see, I dropped off at Goodwill 2 computers, one with DOS and one with XP. Let them recycle it. I hope I don't see it out on the bins for sale, but I think they basically are a recycler, so I think they wrap that up in plastic wrap and then it goes to a recycler from their facilities. So that's about what's happening here in Lake City. This is Dave, KD7ZYM. So let's go back up to Ron, KD7QKU.
KD7QKU. Well, I just had an awful thought, Dave. I think, if I'm not mistaken, an iPad doesn't have a hard drive. So you can look at all the porn you want and you won't get any viruses. I don't know if that's true or not, but I had what did I have? Bob had one too. Oh, it was a notebook, and they didn't have any hard drive. I don't think my Kindle Fire has hard drive in it either. So anyway, Wade, I was thinking, I thought the guys at the clubhouse said they were going to be there till 11:30. But I'm not sure. But they'll be there tomorrow. You can run over tomorrow and get the stuff you left. And Richard, yeah, we lived in Bellevue and we were broken into. They must have been watching us. We went to dinner every Friday night. And between about 6 and 9, we went to dinner one Friday night. When we came home, they had broken in. So somebody had been watching us. So I thought we lived in a pretty safe neighborhood. So I think then Joanne was happy that I had a 9mm. And we put in an alarm system. I pulled in about, I think, I hardwired it. I pulled in about 1,800 feet of wire. I wired everything in the house that would open. I think I went to extremes. And, but yeah, we had an alarm system for sure. And I think Joanne enjoyed it when I was hunting so she could set it and go to bed, not have to worry. Well, not worry, but you know. Yeah, so it's kind of spooky when you get broken into, that's for sure. So I hope, yeah, you're right. I mean, you know, 1 out of 1,000 or 100,000 or whatever it is. So let's see, I think that's about all of the notes I did. So if somebody can switch me in, my camera in, and then I'll try to use my Grand Stream and see if that stuff will work. So I'll stand by.
to input 3. I switched you in, Ron. I'm trying. You might need to send me your IP address again.
N7KC.
Number 7 on the Grandstream controller is what I chose.
On your IP address changed or something, and you're not coming in on this side.
And here I see our RF output is frozen, and my digital froze for a minute, but now it's unfrozen. But the okay, now I just switched back to on.
Back to 1.
There it goes. Okay, it looks like it's working now. Camera in the up there at the hill, inside the inside camera, Cougar Mountain.
Time, I'll get an ID, and this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine.
Pictures, but there's so much latency or something, I don't see anything coming through. I see myself. That idea. Either my Grandstream isn't working or something. So, I was going to show pictures of the clubhouse, the Tacoma clubhouse, and the inside and the outside and the towers and everything, but I taken my video camera, but I can't seem to make the Grandstream work. So I don't know, I haven't used the Grandstream for so long, maybe it quit. Who knows? So anyway, back to net, KD7QKU.
7QKU, Ron, thanks for trying your presentation. Let's go to Jessica, KF7UHK.
Illuminating on 9mm and X-rated
X-rated content on the internet. That just gave me a big chuckle. With that, I'm gonna sign out early. Sylvia worked today, and she's about to come walking in the door, so I'm gonna go get ready for her. And we'll see you next time. Onward and upward, and we'll see you all next time. It's just KF7 UHK.
7 UHK, we got your 7-3. Thanks for joining the net. Let's go to Lee in Port Angeles, N7KC.
Okay, N7KC, Lee in Port Angeles, I'm in. Okay, well listen, a very, very strange thing happened when Wade was on the last time. All of a sudden, I'm listening, I've got the VHF on 14708 here, and Wade was full quieting. I mean, he had 9 bars up on that thing on 14708. And I thought, boy, it's a miracle, you know, and I would just use that radio tonight. And then the next person along, nothing. And so it's very strange. Jessica, yeah, I'm hoping that your eyes are cooperating nicely and you're moving along on this thing, going to get over it soon. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, Richard. Richard seems to, there he is. We have 3 tempered glass sliders to get into the house here. 3 in the summer, 1 in the winter. But our hope is that there's a lot of noise made when that tempered glass breaks. And hopefully that will be the thing that will basically get us up. When we had dogs, nobody would have gotten in here without the dogs telling us. They were our first line of defense. But we don't have dogs now. We have cats who don't give a you know what. You know. So anyway, let's see if I got anything else here. I don't, but I am puzzled why when Wade transmitted on 14708. All of a sudden, there was a terrific signal from him up here in the radio. So, very puzzling. I thought, Eureka! You know, it's happened once or twice in the last 9 years. I've been able to get in. Just a couple of times. Very strange weather situation, but not tonight. Okay, I'm out of time. Dave, back to you. N7KC, Lee in Port Angeles.
KC, let's go to Bob, K9PQ in Bothell.
I don't know if you saw Wade's note, Lee. He said he was on 110, PL 110. That's probably why you heard him. He was coming from Tiger rather than Cougar. So I have a few notes here. Let's see, Jessica, if you're still listening, 600 megabyte drive. The one I always remember, I think it was the PCXT. Our company had it. It was definitely more expensive than anything I was going to pay for at the time, and it had a whopping 10 megabyte drive on it. That was state of the art, man. That was the business computer at the time. Yeah, interesting about the security. I'm kind of curious how those security panels work as well, Richard. I'll be interested to hear that. As far as the GCI, both GICIs going at the same time, it reminded me of the same incident that I told you guys about, where I actually had to start an airplane engine by pulling on the prop. And the reason we had made an emergency landing because both radios gave out at the same time. And come to find out, it was the switch that was switching between the main radio and the backup radio that failed, and that's why both radios failed at the same time. So yeah, it's like no matter how much failsafe you have, you can still have that point, that single point of failure that can be a problem. Great signal, Wade. I agree with Jim. Really nice color signal. I think that's the first time I've seen you in color in a very long time. So whatever you're doing is working well. And James, yeah, I agree. The power of mathematics, that is exactly it. Here's this antenna. We got sound run going. We got people doing sideband like all over the place. I happen to get lucky and catch one good sideband signal from California, not a single one from Washington, but I get FT8 from all over the place, and it is. I probably didn't make a big enough deal of it. It's a big deal to me. So Whisper is the lowest of low. It will go right down into the noise and pick up things. That's why you can get I get Australia, New Zealand, Japan, even Russia, and mostly all out to the west because of where I am on this hill. I get the U.S., East Coast of the U.S., but no Europe at all. Let me break. The FT8 so Whisper's just intended to see where do I get to. The FT8 is actually used to make contacts, and you've got an exchange that you do, and it's and because you don't want to take up as much time as with Whisper, it's a shorter exchange, so you can't quite get as far down into the mud with that. And so reaching Japan for FT8 was a big deal for me. I was very surprised. I've now made 3 contacts in Japan, so that was pretty darn cool and unexpected. Okay, back to that, K9PQ.
X.
ID or stomped on you, Dave.
Thanks for that. Let's go to Richard, K7ITX.
Okay, quick game day update. Bottom of the 8th inning, and Mariners are up to bat, of course, bottom of the 8th, and they have a man on first base and no outs. The score is 0-0. All right, so another great game. A nice matchup, by the way, with those. And Wade, oh my God, I don't know, your audio is just like, you could have been just sitting in the room with me. It was so clear. You've done something different, and it's whatever it is, it's pretty awesome. So anyway, all right. And Dave, yeah, you're going to get spoiled with this, touch screen business. Spoiled in that you'll find yourself when you're on your regular computer touching the screen and nothing happening. But anyway, it is very, very convenient to be able to just touch the screen and go wherever you want to go. Now, James, you got a little confused when I said 8 mil. I wasn't referring to millimeters. I was referring to .080 inch. That's what in our business, that's what we call mil. Yeah, I don't know why. I guess for 1,000ths, 8 1,000ths. Anyway, it's pretty thin stuff. Let's see, 1/8 of an inch is .125, so a 1/16 is. So this is a little bit thicker than a 1/16, I believe. Yeah. 062 would be a 1/16. 080 is a little bit thicker. So it's just film that is put on the inside piece of the insulated glass of each of the 4 panels. So it takes someone that knows what they're doing, and it was really kind of cool. So I hope that did that make sense that they put it on the inside of the insulated glass. Okay, good. All right, and it's pretty tricky. It's not cheap, and you can't see it once it's installed. One thing I was glad about, though, is I made sure there wasn't a car in the garage, and I've done that now, and it's worked really good for when the car needed a battery, and AAA came over for that, and when the guys were working on my steps in the deck, and then now the film. basement, and actually the guy with the film set up a ladder, and then literally he had this giant roll on some kind of a, if you can imagine, well, you buy saran wrap now, and it comes in a box, and you pull it out, and it cuts. They have little cutters now on the box to cut your saran wrap. Well, just picture the same thing but 10 times bigger, and the housing is made out of is metal. It's a metallic system, and the rolls look like they probably weigh about 100 pounds. They're just giant rolls, and so I'm glad that he had the ability to use my garage and cut his panels to size, or cut the film to size in my garage and in a more, just a better environment, as opposed to next to his truck outside, that sort of thing in the sun. So anyway, I didn't, it's just like the guys working on the steps. Like someone hovering around watching everything, and so I didn't want. I mean, I've sold this stuff before, and I've sold miles and miles, not necessarily security film, but believe it or not, the big name at for all the businesses like Starbucks headquarters, when they want some kind of semi-privacy film on their interior glass office windows, they almost all specified dusted crystal, as if it's some kind of a, we're talking about pushers and stuff like that. So I sold a lot of dusted crystal in my career. It's pretty weird to say that, but it's true. So anyway, that's about it. I hope that explains that it goes on the inside, and
it looks to me like, your glass at the edges would shatter and the whole hunk would fall out.
Very, very good point. And that would happen if the glass were just single pane glass. But because it's insulated, in fact, in places like California where there is a lot of single pane glass, they recommend that the security film be sealed along the edges and sealed right next to the framework itself, so that what you just described can't happen, Ron. But in the Pacific Northwest, where everything is insulated glass, so there's a really intense glue that is all around the entire perimeter of the glass panels, and you can't see where this glue, and it's called the spacer and all that business. It's all buried inside the framework. So when the tempered glass shatters, of course it shatters completely, but you've got the film that keeps it all intact, and of course it'll shatter right up to where it's glued already. And this glue, by the way, has been there, and it's not glue anymore, it's more like concrete, and it's been there because it's been there for 27 years. So if and when they ever break the glass and it shatters with the security film on it, it'll just be stuck to the entire perimeter of the spacer that comes automatically with insulated glass in the Pacific Northwest. With that, K7ITX, back to net control, and I see another finger.
What would it cost to do a patio door with that stuff? About?
Let's say, furnished and installed, how would $12 a square foot sound?
Installed?
Installed, complete, out the door, guaranteed $12 a square foot. Back to net control.
ITX, thanks for that Let's go to Wade, W7ITL.
7ITL. Hey, thanks everybody for the good audio reports. I am using a different radio than I normally use. I did sell my FT991A to a ham at the Ham Radio Club at Tacoma, and now I'm just got the 705 for FM, but for HF I have the FDDX10. So yeah, the 705 is a QRP rig. And right now, I don't have it plugged into power, so right now I'm just putting 5 watts into the repeater. And now I'm at 103.5 for the PL tone, so it should sound about the same, hopefully. And let's see, what else? Richard, yeah, that glass sounds really good. Maybe when I get ready to replace this old 70s double pane windows I have in my house with the aluminum framing, maybe if you're still in the biz or know somebody that could help, I'll buy some of that. That tempered glass sounds awesome. Let's see, what else? Yep, the salmon run. So, yeah, I haven't actually operated on there yet. I was at the club this afternoon, and I was just kind of reg-chewing with the folks in the house. I didn't actually get on the radios. But I might jump on tonight if I can get in there before they close it up. It's just about 9 o'clock, so I might have an hour or so to get over there and play. If not, they are going to be opening the shack back up at 9 a.m. Let's see. And hey, Ron, I am sorry I didn't comment the last time, but that is a bummer with all the electrical issues you've had at the home. Yeah, I had those problems too, but I've been lucky in the last couple of months I haven't had any electrical problems other than the loose neutral I had in our kitchen that took out our power in our garage and a couple other places. So that's it. W7ITL back to net.
ITL, let's go to Jim, N7QO.
QO, thank you, Dave. Well, the witching hour is just about upon us. Let's see. Can't talk a whole lot here. Dick, thanks for the information on that. $12 a square foot. One quickie question I had: the film, is it clear or is it like a tinted film? No, it seems like it would. Even if it were clear, it seems like it might attenuate the light a little bit. Would you guess? I don't know. Wade, your audio is good right now, but honestly, it was stronger before. And with that, back to you, Dave, N7QO.
N7QO, thanks for that. And it's time to wrap up the net, unfortunately. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. Net on the 08 machine would like to thank the SeaTac Repeater Association for allowing us to use WW7STR's repeater 147.08 with a specific tone of 103.5 for Cougar Mountain. So on behalf of the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, this is Dave, KD7CYM, signing off the net. Good evening all at 9 o'clock.
KC disconnected.